In tonight's special report, it's high times for the medical marijuana industry. Colorado, along with California, make up 92% of the sales nationwide. It's turned into a billion-dollar industry, and it's expected to keep growing. Now there's an initiative to legalize it in Colorado in a separate education campaign centered on Colorado Springs voters. Fox 21's Sade Malloy explains how legalizing marijuana could put our state in the history books. Sade?
Marijuana is a hot topic, and getting it legalized is no easy task. So the Legalize Responsibly campaign is trying to spark the conversation 1 year from the November 2012 election. And after the legalization attempt failed in California, the organization is working extra hard to make sure it gets passed here in Colorado. It's been almost 10 years since Colorado voters passed a constitutional amendment to legalize medical marijuana. The Colorado Medical Marijuana Registry gives patients currently receiving treatment for a debilitating condition the option to use marijuana for medical use. But now, with rumblings of an initiative to legalize the drug in 2012 and a recent TV campaign centered in Colorado Springs, the idea is gaining momentum.
What if we regulate it?
So the Citizens for Responsible Legalization is working on an education campaign for the legalization, regulation, and taxation of marijuana. The 6-week TV campaign was aimed at educating Colorado Springs voters and bringing a new approach to the drug policy. And so far, more than 90,000 people have signed off and agreed that legalizing marijuana needs to be taken to the voters.
I think there's a lot of people out there that are making money illegally off of it, and I think it should be used for making our city better and our state better.
According to the U.S. Department of Justice, 7.8% of Colorado residents aged 12 and over reported having abused marijuana in the year prior to the survey. The goal of the Legalize initiative is to regulate marijuana like alcohol, with the legal age of consent being 21 years old and with a limit of up to 1 ounce of marijuana. It would be taxed and, according to the organization, bring in over $100 million annually in tax revenues.
It's not that I'm not adverse to it. I think it has its place in medical pharmacology, but it should have limits.
So it's our hope that if Coloradans vote to go ahead and regulate marijuana for adult use in November 2012, the federal government will again just go hands-off.
But a hands-off approach is not how the federal government has responded to Colorado's expanding medical marijuana industry, and is evident in a letter from the U.S. Attorney John Walsh to the Colorado Attorney General from April of this year. It reads, "The Department of Justice remains firmly committed to enforcing the federal law and the Controlled Substance Act in all states. Thus, if the provisions of HB 1043 are enacted and become law, the department will continue to carefully consider all appropriate civil and criminal legal remedies." The controversial bill, which has since been signed by Governor Hickenlooper, drew criticism for adjusting medical marijuana legislation and allowing the manufacturing and distribution of marijuana, which is prohibited under federal law. We asked the Department of Revenue Medical Marijuana Enforcement Division, who regulate the sale of medical marijuana, for their thoughts on legalizing the drug. In a written statement, they said the question of the legalization of marijuana is outside the scope of our purview, and therefore it would not be appropriate for the MMED to comment.